What's up, everybody? Happy Sunday. Today is Sunday, December the 3rd today. So final month of the year. Interesting time to trade only because, usually there's a lot of low volume in December. Whatever direction that the market usually goes in November, typically there will be not much follow through into December, only because, low volume. A lot of people aren't really trading. People are taking the rest of the year off, etc. Uh, there's a lot of names reporting this week. I'm looking just through the list. We have Neo, we have Broadcom, we have Lulu, we have AI, Dollar General, GME, Chewy, DocuSign. We have Sentinel One, we have ChargePoint, we have who else? Who else we got? Mm-mm. That's about it. A lot of these other names are really small names, or names that are not very liquid. But a few names there. Neo's interesting, Lulu's interesting, AI, and let's see. Look, Broadcom is probably an interesting one as well. Looking through the market news for the week, or sorry, looking through the economic calendar, it looks like there's not much going on this week. I'm sure that something will pop up though, some sort of catalyst this week in the market. But let me just go ahead and get right into the call for tonight. We have just a few names that we're going through. 1 second. Okay. So the first name, well, real quick, let's just look at SPX since it's on the screen. So this past couple of weeks, we've just been going in this very, very strong uptrend. We broke out above this supply sitting right here, this supply zone here at 43, 45, 37 ish. And now we are currently, we've come back and we kind of retested that area as a previous, we found resistance at it, and then we came back and retested it as support, and then put in a strong bullish candle on Friday. So I think there's a continuation for this momentum into the week, and then the level to beat for SPX on the daily is 4600 or 4607 rather. Let me go ahead and just change that. So 4607 is the level for SPX. Before we can work our way into some of these highs from last year. Right. We're looking at 4641. Sorry. We're looking at 4637 above that. So 4600, 4607, and then potentially a strong move into what looks like there might be potential supply here as well, right? And for supply, you just want to look at these steep drops. You want to look at where the peaks are, and they have a very strong drop. So that's what we're looking at for this week. Between SPX to the upside, it'll be 4607 and then 4637. Now, if we do, for whatever reason, touch one of these levels here and fail, I expect us to go back and retest this support here. There's very, very strong support here. I'll give you a fresh line on it. Sitting here at 45.45. Now, we might dip underneath it just for a little bit, but as long as 45.45 holds, there's a continuation to the upside for the rest of the week for SPX. So let's look at this on the weekly real quick. Yeah, very, very strong. So you see some consolidation or some small pullback, a bounce, little consolidation, double inside week, breakdown pretty hard, bear flag to the downside. And then we worked our way back above that 200-day moving average, very, very strong move to the upside, and then just ripping after that. 5 weeks back to back of just strength. So I think the strength continues into this 46.37. And then above that, we really have to trade above that in order to kind of work our way into the previous year's high or all-time high, right? But those are going to be my targets for this week. Real quick, let's look at QQQ. QQQ got a nice gap up, and we're currently making a higher low at this moment. Now, is there more pullback in this? Probably. Let me look at this. This is high of 386.07, high of 385. So we did break the high of the previous day. Not the way that SPX did, but it did break out a little bit. I want to see continue to hold this level and work its way up into the high of the previous week, 2 weeks ago, and then work its way into making a new fresh high. Now this looks like it's getting to a point where we're very close to this. Now, what I don't love about QQQ, and I'm going to go ahead and zoom into this area over here. We formed a strong area of chop and consolidation back in the end of 2020, just about a year ago, actually, right? Or 2 years ago, rather. Just about 2 years ago. And this was just a terrible time to trade. I remember this very vividly. This was just really, really awful. Especially because I was swing trading back then. So if you caught, you have to catch like a move like this or a move down like this, coming down. And as you know, it's very, very difficult to foresee the move. And I think that this area is just, there's so much volume sitting in this area that, it seems like we might potentially get caught in something similar. As you see, like we came into this area and kind of fell a little hard, and now we're back, and it's just been kind of going sideways a bunch. We did form the higher low so far, but to me, I need to move out of this area very, very quickly, or continue to show, I guess, on my end, a little bit more patience, right? This might just go ahead and do something like this. Let me redraw that. It might go ahead and just chop around this area for a little bit. Maybe work its way back into this line, maybe form a higher low rather. And then either the next time it revisits either strong rejection or it continues to work its way up. There's really no way of telling, right? But I just don't like this area because there's lots of volume here, lots of buyers and sellers are active here. Not one side has more strength than the other. That's why you see some days are up, some days are down, a lot of dojis in here. And I just hate trading in days like that, right? So that's QQQ. Let's look at XLE. XLE is currently basing on the 200-day moving average, is black line. And it's showing a lot of volatility, right? Like big strong moves to the upside, sellers take control. Big gap downs, and then buyers take control the next day, right? Lots of volatility sitting in this area. I'm not sure exactly what the catalyst for energy is right now in the world. Like I'm not sure what's happening with it. I know there's something in Saudi Arabia where the currency for trading oil is moving away from the dollar. So that might have something to do with this. And if anyone's interested, I will go ahead and just like search the word petrodollar on Twitter. You'll find a bunch of people talking about it. So perhaps that's something that's going on there. I don't know if it's going to directly affect the price of XLE. So I don't know if it's something worth us like really wasting time on. But on the technical tip, it's sitting on top of the 20-day and 200-day. 6 days of sideways action right on that line with buyers stepping in on Friday. There might be a continuation into that 50-day moving average into Monday. So maybe an upside move tomorrow. We'll see. Next one's XLF. XLF has been absolutely ripping ever since we made this we bounced back into this rising support line up here. We kind of ripped up into it, pulled back and found some support on it, as well as the 50-day moving average here, that red line, and strong moves to the upside to rip through the falling resistance line. And now we're back at previous pivots at 36.17-ish, right? So as you see, this area here is it's a key area to break above. This line has been tough for XLE for quite some time. And the top of that range here sitting at around 37 or so. XLF just needs a strong push. I think that there's some sort of coupling with Bitcoin and financial markets at this moment, with XLF specifically, which is typically inverse, but for some reason, I think it's all moving in the same direction right now. So I would be interested to see how that continues, if that continues, because we did have a strong move, good consolidation for like 4 days here, and then continuation. So a consolidation here, a potential continuation will be nice. Otherwise, we might fail in this area, just like we have in the past a bunch of times. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'll give you some levels real quick on this above the high of the previous day. We have this little pivot here at 36.44. Above that, we got 36.75, and then above that, we got 37 for XLF. And if it does fail below this level, if it breaks down, just play the previous day lows into Monday's. Looks like, what's that? Is that Tuesday? Into Monday's low, right? You have sequential lows all the way into Monday's low or Tuesday's low. This day, Tuesday's low, right? So those are your levels for XLF. Now let's quickly look at. I have a very short list this week. Let's see. Okay, first one's LRCX. LRCX, I'm liking it to the upside. It completed the cup. I had a downside play for it when I expected it to break below the 200-day moving average, and it held that 200-day moving average and absolutely like spit in my face. It disrespected everything that I believed. It took all of my money. Strong bounce over here, broke through the 50-day, just been absolutely ripping ever since. And now we're at a previous. Is this all-time high for LRCX? No. Oh yeah, pretty close to it. Pretty close to it. And now if you look at this on the longer time frame, you see the strong cup and handle. Here's your cup. There's your handle. Back to the 50 to the 20-day, 200-day moving average. Strong bounce. And now we're bull flagging up here, right? Strong moves to the upside. And now we're bull flagging between previous resistance here and previous resistance here, right? This resistance flipped and turned into a support for the past like 7 days. And so if there's a continuation in this, I think that LRCX can easily see 750 by the end of the week, right? 750 is just right here, right? By the end of the week, if we get the breakout. So I'll be watching for a move above that 726.53. Now I know that we did it, we opened up above it, or we tested above it on Monday. 726, I guess I'll just do 727.25. That's good. Strong move. So we made that strong move on Monday, but we couldn't sustain it. And then we kind of went sideways, and it looks like we want to retry. So if we do get the break above this level, sellers might just be active in this area, but if buyers take control and bring it up above the high here at 730 and 99 cents, so 731, there's a potential for this to easily rip to 750. So LRCX is top watch for me for this week. And then Jake posted it in our top setups channel, so that's absolutely I always like to be on the same page as Jake, right? Jake obviously has a very strong understanding of the market, and so it's good news to me. And it's also good news for LRCX. The next one that I have on my list is, and again, this is very clearly upside. If you wanted to play downside, I would take the breakdown of 708.45, played back to the 20-day moving average right here. I wouldn't expect it to go much further than that. Next one I have is Twilio. Twilio is, there's a lot of lines on my chart, forgive me. So very volatile, strong moves to the upside, good consolidation, strong moves to the downside, nice bounce right here, right? This might be an earnings-fueled move. They beat on earnings and on revenue. And then we're getting a little bit of earnings drift here where prices just continuously rising. We had a bunch of consolidation here and then strong moves to the upside, probably on someone else's earnings report, right? One of the competitors' earnings reports made this move here. We found some previous resistance where a bunch of sellers are active. As you can see, I could just bring this right over. Sellers have been active in this area forever. And so, a bunch of sellers stepped in on Thursday, but then buyers brought it back on Friday. So we do have an inside bar, it looks like. Let me just double check. We have the low 64.10, low 64.10. So yeah, we do have an inside bar. Retested the previous low to the penny, right? So didn't break the range, but tested the range and bounced. Strong bounce into resistance here. So now let me look at this on the 65-minute real quick. Yeah, I just wanted to see what it looked like. It's a triple tap. It's a little backwards, right? Usually you want to see you want to see this reverse. You want to see strong move down, back up, and then consolidation before it rips. We got the consolidation, strong move down, back up. A little bit of consolidation here, but I want to see some continuation above this 66.99 level. Above that, we got 69.61. Above that, we got 72.07 for Twilio for this week. So I'll be watching Twilio. I think that Twilio is gonna give us a very strong move. Let's see what they have in the news. Let's see. Oh, they're pushing for a sale. So they acquired it. They acquired a stake in Twilio, and they're pushing for a sale. So he's just taking profits, it looks like. But he wants a complete sale of the company, or at very least divestiture of his data and application businesses. All right, so they're hoping that somebody buys it, and usually the company that gets acquired rises. So this is just more speculation than anything else. For the reason why it's been rising, usually when companies merge or other companies acquire companies, the one that's being acquired or the one that's being purchased, stock rises, while the one that's purchasing and spending money, stock falls. So that's what this is. Let's see if we can rip above that 66.99. We got to clear through this 67.64, and then above that we got 69.71, 72, 74, 76. If you look at it on the weekly, then you can see how strong of a move this is, right? This is a 5 candlestick move from from $50 or so up to $67. That's a very, very strong move. It was like a 30% move. So just in this past couple of weeks, past 5 weeks or so. So we can get a consolidation here for 1 or 2 weeks and a nice continuation into 670, 621 overall if the strength continues. Not saying that it will, but if it does, hopefully we're all over it, right? AAL. Now, airlines, just historically, they've done much better. Ever since we kind of got this drop here, this COVID drop, price got really volatile. It kind of recovered and then formed this double top, and it's never been the same ever since this double top, right? So we ranged down, we formed new lows for the year. We continue making new lows into this year. The reason why I like it, to be honest with you, and this is like not like, oh, throw it in your stock portfolio or anything like that, but it's more of like all the moving averages are kind of consolidated. Prices ranged a bunch. Even though we set this new low, I do like the bounce. I do like the fact that it consolidated all over across this 50 for a bunch of days, and it broke out above its previous range. All these few days here. It's finally testing new waters, right? It filled this little gap that we had right here on the 6th of October. And the next target for this is going to be the 100-day moving average, right? It might take a day or two, but I think that 100-day moving average is at least tap worthy, right? We might make our way to at least touch it. If we can sustain it and continue to move to the upside, then there's a potential for this to go into the 200-day moving average. And then above that, we got a little bit of an area that we might want to revisit, an area of balance up here that we want to revisit and take over from downside to upside. So there's a potential for this to consolidate in this green box and then maybe work its way up into $17 or so. Now, you guys know I don't like to really trade tickers that are this low priced. However, with this particular ticker, if the move that I'm seeing materializes, then we can get something for like 2 or 3 or 4 weeks out, or even next, February, March, that has relatively good OI, decent volume, right? So it'll be very, very easy to pop out immediately, and just hold it for a couple of weeks and see if we can materialize this move, and it'll be relatively low cost. It'll be something that's far out and low cost, so that's a benefit, right? And you benefit from this going from $13 to $17. It's a very, very strong move for a stock like AAL. That's what I'll be watching. The next one is BBY. Okay. This one looks very, very similar to AAL. The only thing is this one kind of formed a double bottom here, or rather a triple bottom here at 62 and change, $63. So, price kind of deflected in this area. I won't really count it. Over here, consolidated on it a bunch, made an inverse head and shoulders here, ripped up, and then did a bunch of stuff, came back to that level, and buyers are still interested. Look at this. Price came, strong move with nice, strong downtrend, lower highs and lower lows into this level. Buyer stepped in. This looks like a bullish engulfing. This candlestick next to that one, let me just double check. A high of 64.26. Yeah, so bullish engulfing by 2 pennies. Inside bar rip. And then consolidation on the 50-day, it opened up down here and it kind of came back and retested this previous low and then just been ripping ever since. So I'm banking on a continuation of that move. Now that it's above the 50-day, above the 100-day, I think it's going to get to the 200-day. Very, very simple. Right? 200-day gives us a nice $2 move. And then above the 200-day, we can come back to retest this area of consolidation over here. So that's what I'll be looking for Best Buy. Best Buy is another one we could probably find a decent play with some time on it. Otherwise, I think the 200-day, we get it in the next 2 days. Definitely by this week if the strength continues. I just want to see what's up with them in the news. They got a dividend payout or dividend X date coming out in a couple of days. Holiday cheer after starts the season. So they just, it's just same old thing. I think this is just seasonality. I think it's just a seasonality play. DoorDash to offer on-demand delivery across the U.S. for Best Buy products. So you can order Best Buy products and have it delivered to you by DoorDash, right? If you feel like supporting, quote-unquote, the little guy, what's everyone else going to do? Everyone's going to go to Amazon and get it on Amazon, right? So it's a play, I guess. Maybe they have a good system because it's going to be super local. Like there's a Best Buy very close to me, and I know that DoorDash will service them. So it's a play. Is it that interesting? I'm more interested in the holiday cheer after solid start to season. Right? I'm more interested in people buying and continuing to buy. I see Ulta, I see Foot Locker, I see Amazon, I see Kohl's there in this logo here. So I think that any strength in one of them will signal a strength in all of them, pretty much. And I think, and you definitely got to wear Amazon. You definitely got it on Black Friday. This weekend, I think sales slowed down, and during the week, there might be a potential for it to pick up since people realize, oh shit, we got to go holiday shopping. So I think that just the catalyst of that, the momentum of that and the vibe of that is what's going to get this to continue to move to the upside. Now, if we do fail below if we get to the 200 and fail, we can work our way down into the 100 as a first target, down to the second target low. Friday is low of day. Thursday's low of day for the fourth target, and then 50-day will be the last target if we do break down, right? So very, very clear targets, both directions. I do like it better to the upside at this moment. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Next one is BX. BX is financial sector, Blackstone. Now, BX is one that pops up on my radar every once in a while. There was a play where I think we got it, me and one of my boys got it around like the 50s. And we ended up, we had the expiration. We had like the 75 calls or so, or 60 calls or something like that. It was something like very, very close, but we had plenty of time on it. And then ended up ripping all the way to like $90 or something like that. It was like right around here. We kind of like, we were really kicking ourselves in the butt. But anyway, I do like this ticker. I like the company. I like the price action. Just want to draw this on it. That's a far reach. Nice little falling wedge. Nice little falling wedge on Blackstone. So now we got the falling wedge, we got the breakout, continuation, exploration, right? Prices going up and down, seeing where it can land, forming a broadening formation here. We tested, made a new low, made a new high, came back, made a lower low, right? So this broadening formation is broadening out even more. Let me just clean this up a little bit. This broadening formation is broadening out even more. So what does that mean? That means there's a potential for it to do one of these, right? Now it looks kind of outlandish, but it adds up, right? It happens every once in a while. So I'm looking for 116.17 towards the end of the week, and then if we get that, we can touch that 123 at some point that we've been to in the past, right? We're sitting above all moving averages, and then what do they have? They have earnings coming up in the month of February, so there's a potential for the beginning of a run-up, potentially towards the end of this month. But I would just keep it on your radar, especially if it breaks above into these levels here. I'm going to go ahead and set an alert, BX 115.47. If it gets into those levels there where you see there's a bunch of consolidation here before the drop, if it gets right above that level and it's filling this wick right here, then I want to see it. I want to see what it can do, right? I want to see if it has legs. And obviously if XLF continues with the strength, then BX will definitely benefit by the strength in the sector. The next one is X. U.S. Steel. U.S. Steel has been going pretty strong since the summertime. It's been as low as in June, as low as $20.40, and now it's at $36. Right, that's like an 80% move from the lows in June. That's a very, very strong move. So we're sitting at areas that are very interesting to me, as I've had it mapped out for quite some time. We have 37.79 as the next area. Obviously, we need above 37 for that. Go ahead and draw this at 37. Right. Close enough. And then we can just go ahead and split both of those. We got 37, we got 37.79, we got 38.50, and then we got 39.25, which are going to be the short-term targets. And then we obviously got some previous highs up here that will probably work out in the future, but I don't see them happening just yet. Let's look at the weekly on this. This is a pretty chart, right? This is just like a roller coaster ride. It's like an absolute roller. This is like the Scream machine. Now, weekly, this thing I think it must have gone through like stock splits or whatever the case is to make the price rise so dramatically. But anyway, let's go back to the daily. There's nothing interesting there. Zoom in. And if for whatever reason X decides to fail after such a strong move, then let me just get this. There we go. Get this calibrated a little better. If X decides to fail after such a strong move, I would just play it down below each low of day. Same thing, right? Sequential low of days. We got Friday's low, Thursday's low is lower, Wednesday's low is lower, Tuesday's low is lower. We got that 20-day moving average. So I would just play this down to the 20-day moving average through these lows of day. And then if we break down below that, then we can target the 50, although I don't see that happening, especially with the strength of this trend, right? Look at this. As soon as it was consolidating and as soon as that 20 caught up, it bounced. It came back, it ripped through and hit the 50, but then it bounced. So, and it's accelerating right now. So I just see strength in it. I think that there's a continuation, but we'll see. The reason why I'm looking at X is because I saw CLF. CLF put in a monster candle on Friday. Very nice double bottom or inverse head and shoulders or cup and handle, whatever it is that you see in this area here, right? Very, very strong bullish move. Price started here, worked its way down, came back up, worked its way back down, came right back up, consolidated above that 200-day moving average, and now rippy strong candlestick. I do like playing X over CLF only because I think I get more volatility out of X, but it is what it is, right? This is just a beautiful setup. This is stronger than X is currently. So if this rips through, then X will follow suit. Typically, that's the case. I'm going to go ahead and put one there. I'm going to put one. Those are your levels for the upside for CLF. All this stuff is very attainable. We're at 1826. We can easily put in a 50-cent day to bring us into 1870. And then from there, we got to kind of decide what's going to happen because, as you can see, we've tested this area a bunch of times in the past and have fallen a bunch of times in the past. So, so just very important to know where we are. If you do take the trade, just know that it might be short-lived. Maybe you want to set a trail stop on it. You set your trail stop and you can just chill, take it 30%. Pretty easy to get 30% out of this. Otherwise, if you want to put time on it, it's, again, relatively cheap where you can buy a couple weeks out or a couple months out and just let it play. I think ultimately $20 is not far out, especially with the momentum. But I want to see this. You see how this just kind of bounced and worked its way up out of 3 days? I want to see it. I don't want to see it just like post another candlestick just like that. I want to see it kind of go sideways a little bit. I don't want to see it fall back to earth. So, you want to see it draw out a flag or something like that. You want to see it kind of maybe break out above, do something like this where it's flagging right there. Not that long though, obviously. Paint some price in here before it continues to move up, or even if it just does you see how we have like higher lows each day. Even if it puts a small candlestick, higher low, next day higher low, next day higher low. That's very, very important for CLF. So I'll be watching that. I'm gonna go ahead and set an alert. My alerts, Monday mornings, my alerts go insane. And then some of them, they go and then they just fail right away, right? So you gotta kind of have patience, especially on Mondays. Next one's Datadog. I have like 5 more, including this. So Datadog, very, very nice, strong move out of earnings. Couple of double inside bars. This is when we were kind of talking about it. This was a Friday, this candlestick, this big green candlestick right here. We were talking about it on this day and it's just been ripping ever since, right? It's going through all of my targets. The next target is 121.96. And this is just a Fibonacci move right here, right? Just pure Fibonacci move. I'll talk about, I don't think I have Uber on my list, but I definitely want to talk about it. Strong Fibonacci move, pullback, found support at the 786 fib, as you can see here, and then just continuation, right? Continuation. So I want to see it touch that 121.96 level. Let's just call it 122. Datadog has a strong history, and I think that this particular sector, just especially with AI, it's good to have a service such as Datadog, right? So I think they're going to benefit from the environment in the market for them right now. But we'll see, right? I'm not married to them. So we got a nice inside bar on Friday, break above Friday's high. Let me just zoom in on it a little bit. Nice inside bar on Friday, break above Friday's high. Target Thursday's high. Above that, we got that 121.96 fib level, right? We just 121.96. And then above that, we can target 124, and then above that, we got 128, right? 124 or 128. 124-ish, 128-ish, right? For Datadog. Very, very strong move, especially out of this consolidation. We got to hold this area here. You see all this price, this doji, this like doji all on its own. long as we hold this area here, this level here at 115.95 and continue to move, even if we bounce a little bit, even if we like double bottom on it, that'll be very, very nice, right? For a continuation. The next one is, let's take a look at Uber actually real quick. Uber is absolute monster. I had put out a play for it, but I think I was too early. Let me just search for it. Yeah, I was too early. I had I mean, we did catch it, right? It was the on the 22nd of November, a couple weeks ago. Put out a 12-156 call. And that thing, I didn't even follow up on it. Actually, I want to see what it closed down on Friday. Let me just take a quick look, just because I'm interested. But with that strength, I see a continuation. Obviously, with the S&P inclusion, same thing that happened to Lulu, right? Lulu went nuts and kind of like started making more sustained moves, started breaking through resistances, started doing all this extra behavior. Let's see the 12. Oh shit! I'm gonna have to search it by the ticker. Uber 231201 call. What was it? 56. I just want to see where it closed at. Oh, I hit a high of 216. So 100% on that play. Nice. 100% swing. From $1.08 to 216. Proud of myself. This is the sound of me patting myself on the back. I see continuation into 59.22 and then 61.50. Good consolidation on these 2 days. Wednesday, Thursday. Strong move on Friday. I think Friday was when the news came out. Yeah. Uber is officially an adult company. Oh, yeah, I remember that. There was some bad culture at Uber, and it seems like they've kind of cleared it up already. That's good. Good for them. Good for them. Oh yeah, I remember that. The old guy who used to demean women and say racist things. But now they have an adult there running the company. All right, so we got the break above day high on Friday. We can target that 59.22. Above that, we got 61.50, which are just previous levels, previous highs, right? Just previous highs. So nothing new, not reinventing the wheel here. I like Uber for a continuation. Let's see what it can do. If it does fail for whatever reason, or if you want to short it, then you can just trade the lows. Each of these lows get higher, right? So just trade them as they get lower. I wouldn't go down this far. I'll probably think it would stop around the 20-day moving average, especially with all that strength. So just the low of Friday, low of Thursday, low of Monday of last week, low of Friday of the previous week, maybe back into 54, and then from there, that's probably your move. I wouldn't expect more, especially with that S&P inclusion. That's very, very strong for them. Next one is DKS. You guys know I love this ticker. I'm always talking about this ticker, and I've been talking about this gap fill forever. And look at where we are. We are working our way into this gap. DKS also has some good seasonality with holiday shopping. It looks like insiders sold a bunch of shares worth 1.5 million. I mean, let me ask you a question. What would you do if you bought it way down here as an insider and the price went from $110 to $138? What would you do? Would you hold it or would you sell, right? So I don't think that's not really going to phase me. I would be interested to see who, and there you go. Insider bought $100,000 worth, and then some insider sold 1.5. So nothing. This is nothing. I'm interested to know. Look, the SVP, Chief People and Purpose Officer. That's an interesting title. She sold off some shares. She's going Christmas shopping. I wonder who bought it. Larry Fitzgerald, the director, 783 shares for 100K. So the director bought it, and SVP sold it. So let's see, or executive VP rather. So I'm looking for the gap. Just looking for the gap. That's it. That's it. I see a continued move based on the strength of the sector, the retail sector. It's showing a lot of strength during this time, as it usually does. What the hell did I just do? I don't know okay, there you go. Showing lots of strength during this time. I want to see a continuation. Maybe we get a little bit of a pullback. You see some consolidation here, so it might be a tough area to break. You see strong sell pressure here as well as here. So really, we need to clear through that 139.13 area right here, and then from there we can kind of work our way into the test the top of this gap. I just want the gap. Then I'm gonna stop talking about DKS. All right. I'm not making no promises. The next one is, and if you want to play to the downside, you play back to the 200 day. Play right back into that 200 day. Right? Although I wouldn't go short. I wouldn't short the strength. Same thing I wouldn't do with Coinbase. I would not short the strength. Bitcoin is up to about 40K over this weekend, as shared by Nell. Good consolidation. You know, this makes more sense on like the larger time frames. We got kind of an inverse head and shoulders, strong move, pull back, higher low. Around the 200-day moving average, just rip. I think this is a Coinbase, a Bitcoin catalyzed move, but who knows? I think there's also some like XRP kind of things going on, you know, with the petrodollar, XRP, you know, digital identity system, ISO 20022, Basel 3, all this crap that's happening right now. I sounded crazy just now. Anyway, 137.35 is immediate target. Above that, we got 140. Above that, we got 145. Above that, we got 150. The rest of them we'll just leave for the future. I think there's a continuation in this move, especially with kind of this strong move, little pullback, lots of buyers, rip through, make new high. And then if we do want to short this for any reason, I wouldn't suggest it, but these are your targets right here. You got low of Friday, low of Thursday, and then 112.18, which is the low of Monday. For Coinbase. Coinbase is very, very, very strong. Next one is Amazon. I got one more after this. Amazon. Let me let's go to the weekly on this. I believe Amazon at some point will get back to where it was at. Very, very easy. And you see how it was like stuck for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. Very, very long time before it broke out of that range. Retested it, fell hard, double bottom, or inverse head and shoulders, however you want to paint it down here. Strong move up, cup and handle, right? Strong move up. I think that when it gets into this level, I don't think it's going to do the same thing. I think it's going to just either rip through or fall hard, right? One or the other. But I do like it on the daily. The reason why I like it is because we made this nice strong move from this bounce right at the 200-day moving average. And now we're kind of consolidating. And I think that, we got one low here, higher low here, higher low here. And then we rip through and form a two candlestick. Let me just zoom in on this so you can get some levels. Now I'm going to leave my fib ladder right there because it's still valid. We haven't even touched the first level on it. We got that, we got that, we got that. Little flag vibe forming. This is a 65-minute, by the way. Little flag vibe forming right there. Little triple tap vibe forming right there. For a 30-minute. Right? Consolidation, rip down, came right back to that level. Sellers came back in, brought it down, right back to that level, right back to that falling resistance. Rip through and take out each pivot, and then we can really, really get going for Amazon. Now, if you like Amazon to the downside, I would trade it into that 20-day moving average, which is just right there. Take it below the two lows of day. And then underneath that, I'll play into this doji. And then if you're feeling frisky, I would play into that 142.54, but don't get caught in this buying frenzy right here of this lower shadow. Do not get caught. Do not want to get caught there short, in my opinion. Last one is Chewy. Chewy has earnings in 2 days, or 3 days rather. Wednesday, 2 days. So we had kind of some price action over here, kind of rose a little bit, rejected the 20-day moving average, came back, kind of formed the inverse head and shoulders here, down here, right? At the low, 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 maybe a triple tap, failed triple tap to the downside. Whatever. Price went up, came back down, couldn't break this level, went back up. Double top up here, couldn't break this level, came back down, formed a higher low. Higher low so far, right? This just looks really strong. It broke through this Thursday's price action, really with a lot of strength. It looks like it wants to target that 50-day first thing, but then the next thing it looks like it wants to do is it wants to take out Wednesday's high. And then if it takes out Wednesday's high, we got this 20-day moving average to target, and then we got Monday's high. Above Monday's high, we got some of these levels here. There's a lot of sellers sitting up here, as you can see. But maybe with earnings, there's a potential for this to really rip through. Now, I wouldn't trade it through earnings. I I would say this about Chewy. People love their pets. People will do whatever they can to take care of their pets. People also love convenience. Chewy offers a solution for people to take care of their pets while having convenience. I don't see Chewy going anywhere, right? I don't see them going anywhere. I use Chewy a lot to like look through for sales for my dog friends, and they're constantly running sales. I don't know if they're necessarily making money on certain things. I know they liquidate a lot, so that's probably has to do with some of the stock drop. I really don't know. And then let me just look at the news. Yeah, I mean, there's like Chewy has some affiliation with GameStop because of CEO. GameStop is on some like kind of meme run right now, right? It looks like we're actually going to look at GameStop right after. So Chewy could benefit from that. But either way, I see the 50-day, I see the previous high, I see 20-day, I see previous high. I wouldn't really go short at this level, but if you did, maybe below, take it, take the 50, take the break of the volume there, this little green line at 1790, take that to low of day. From there, you could take that down to 1653. Again, this is such a relatively low price stock that, maybe you put some time on it, or maybe you just buy shares and trade the shares for Chewy. Let's look at GME real quick. This will be the last one. So we played GME earlier in the week. We made some money on it. Nothing crazy, but I think that like GME, in my experience with memes, you have to catch them. It feels like it's that time again, right? You have to catch them on the right day, and you have to put plenty of time on it and stay right at the money. Don't go too crazy. I think like 17s, 18s, 19s are more than enough, especially if you put like a month or two on it. So I'll be looking at, for GME, we got an inside bar that painted on Friday. We had the rip to the upside, the breakdown, retested the 50-day, caught it, and then inside bar on Friday, right? So break above or below, target previous day, range. If we go up, we can break through that high, and then above that, we got the 200-day moving average. Now, I'm going to go ahead and set an alert at this level, because if we break above that level, I want to see it test that 100-day. Above that 100-day, I want to rip to that 200-day moving average. If we do break above that level, we'll be looking for like 20s, 22s, 24 calls out in February, maybe March. All right, guys, that is it for me tonight. Hope you guys got some value. I'm looking forward to the market this week. Not a lot of big names in earnings. However, I think that we're going to get a little bit of volatility, especially like XRT, especially XLF. Maybe tech will actually work this week, right? Usually tech has a one off week, one on week. So let's see what happens. I'm very excited for this week. Thank you guys for being on the call. And I will catch up with you tomorrow morning. Take care, guys.